Hey, what is up everybody? In today's video, I got myself here a copy of Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered for the Xbox One. Now, if we want to be super technical, this is not technically the third entry, canonically speaking, because Brotherhood and Revelations are technically the third and fourth entry, so by that logic, this is actually Assassin's Creed 5. But of course, this is a brand new protagonist, so I can see the logic behind it. Still, it would have been nice if, they were a bit more accurate with the numbering scheme here, considering they just had like 4 previous entries. And of course, we also have a bunch of the side games, including Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, which is also included, by the way. It was previously a PlayStation Vita exclusive title that eventually got ported to the PS3 and Xbox 360, and then given another port for this remastered edition of Assassin's Creed 3. Now, I had access to this game until recently through Game Pass, but as I don't have Game Pass, well, this is how I'm gonna have to play the game going forward. But thankfully for me, I got this for $9, down from 20, which is really nice. You know, two full games, 450 a piece. That's a pretty good deal, and with all the DLC too, as stated here, which is nice. So it's 1776, and you're playing as a Native American assassin to protect his land and his people. He will ignite the flames of a young nation's revolution. So we have, so of course, that assassin being Connor, the ancestor of uh, Desmond Miles, who, of course, you play as during the modern day sections of the game. I won't talk too much about the story because, spoilers, but yeah. So for use only with Xbox One systems, game disc, and up to 46 GB of storage is required. Now the question is, how much of? I'm pretty sure the full game, the day one edition of the game, is very much on the disc. Like everything is on there. It's just that with future updates, subsequent updates that were released, they fixed some bugs and glitches, which I'm sure there must have been plenty of. And in the case of this game specifically, I know that not everyone was happy with some of the changes made. So the game's got a new lighting engine, but um, uh, as you know, as of course this is a remaster, but not everyone was a fan of the new character models, much like Assassin's Creed at the Ezio collection, which changed up a lot of the character models and sorry, more specifically, it updated the engine. It updated the games to run on the newest version of Ubisoft's Anvil engine, but in doing so, it kind of ruined the atmosphere of the game in a lot of ways, since a lot of the character models no longer really fit in with the environments, and the environments also, a lot of the assets didn't really work well once, didn't look right. This is kind of a general problem with a lot of remasters. They don't always look, they unfortunately just don't look quite right. A lot of times because of the higher because of the change in game engines and whatnot. But from what little I played, it's really more so the game looks fantastic. Like the snow looks really good at the beginning of the game. Um, okay, let's see here. Now I know that not everybody uh, liked this game at the time of its release. Some people didn't like the protagonist of this game, Connor, as much as say Ezio, who up to that point had 3 full games that really fleshed out his story. Connor only got 1, and I have no idea who this who I don't even know who the protagonist is of uh, Liberation Remastered is all about. I know she's like a slave or something, but I don't know the full story there, um, so I'll have to obviously figure that out as I find out how I feel once I play that. I will say though, it's a shame that that Liberation HD is like the Liberation Remastered is like the only handheld game that's ever been given like the full console treatment. Has been re-released on consoles, as opposed to say the DS or PSP games. Would have been nice if they got, at the very least, if they got like say the Kingdom Hearts treatment, where they at the very least went back and redid all the cutscenes and stuff like that. That would have been cool. But oh well. That's yeah. So here's the disc. You know, it's a standard Xbox One disc, and of course you got a bunch of warnings on the back side of the cover art. There's no like pamphlet or anything or manual, which is pretty standard nowadays. But yeah, let's actually plop this in to my console and see what happens. Now I actually do have the game already installed, um, more specifically on my external hard drive, which I've disconnected just for the sake of figuring out what's actually on the disk. So let's pop this in and see what happens. Okay, so here we are on the dashboard. Let's see what happens when we try to install it. Okay, so about 44.5 gigabytes of data on the disk. But let's see how much. Okay, it looks like we'll need an update. Yeah, so it looks like the update is about 22.4 gigabytes. Okay. I mean, that is a pretty sizable amount of the game that needs to be updated, but at least it's not like Assassin's Creed Unity, where recently they just updated a 60 frames per second patch, which required you to pretty much download the entire game all over again, essentially, just to have the game running at 60 frames per second. That was a bit much. But yeah, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered is a game I am looking forward to finishing. Now, I don't actually need to install this. I'm just trying to make sure the on-disk content is still working. There is a workaround if your disk is damaged and is unable to install the game entirely. So what you can do is you can go to the Microsoft Store and find the game store page, and then just hit the download button while the disk is installed on your system. So that way, you can still install the game. It just has to be downloaded off the internet in the case that your disk is damaged. Of course, that is assuming the disk still gets recognized. And I unfortunately had the bad luck of having a couple games where where it's so damaged the Xbox doesn't even recognize it, and so I can't even go to the store page and download it from there. But yeah, aside from that, that pretty much does it for this video, guys. If you like what you saw and want to see more, as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.